I think American democracy is at its weakest point that I've ever seen it in my lifetime or even read about in American history. This is Joyanne Reid, and this is a word: how Trump took down an American democracy.
The 45th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
Arrest Trump now! Arrest
Well, I named the book The Man Who Sold America because, to be blunt, Donald Trump's entire life, in reading about it, in reading biographies of him, and interviewing people who've known him for a long time, has been a scam. And when he ran for president, the previous 2 times, he did it as a way to increase his marketability so that he could build more hotels and sell his name onto more hotels, because he's not even a guy who owns a lot of buildings. He's not even a builder. He basically licenses his name to buildings like Calvin Klein licenses his name to perfume. So everything about him was a lie. And the run in 2016 was no different. I interviewed people who made it clear that he ran for office believing he would increase his marketability and he would be able to convince Russia to let him build a Trump Tower and he would get really, really rich. So everything about him was a con, and we're still being conned.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me.
I think it's kind of problematic when we talk about Donald Trump being racist. There are a lot of racist people. Right? There are a lot of racist people who love Michael Jordan. Like, they'll watch basketball, they'll watch football. They're racist. They don't individually want black people to move in their neighborhood, but they're just racist. Well, their racism is ignorant and stupid. It only limits them. The thing Donald Trump is doing is a little different than racism. It's white nationalism. Because white nationalism means not only am I personally racist, but I believe this is a white country. And if you decide that the only way to be a true citizen is to be white and Christian, that's white nationalism. And Donald Trump has gone far past the racism he's shown his whole life and directly into white nationalism. And the proof that there is of that is that the literal violence by white nationalists has skyrocketed since he started running for president. He's actually producing more white nationalist violence every time he opens his mouth.
These congresswomen, their comments are helping to fuel the rise of a dangerous, militant hard left. But that's okay, because we're going to win this election like nobody's ever seen before.
I think the media in the Trump era they're having a struggle because the media wants Donald Trump to be a normal president and he isn't. And I don't think the media has figured out how to deal with that. I think the media on the good end has had a lot of great journalism that's uncovered his corruption, but I don't think the general media knows what to do with that information because they still want to fit him into normal president mode.
We have a very good relationship with North Korea. So I get hit by these fakes back here. Not all of them, some are phenomenal, but I get hit because I went there. I gave him credibility. I think it's great to give him credibility. Here's what we got, everything.
Fox News at this point just is Donald Trump TV. There's always been Republican television designed to anger and agitate white Americans into hating the right people and voting for the right people, voting Republican, staying on the team. But with Donald Trump, they've just allowed themselves to be consumed. He wants you to be angry at the caravan. They tell you the caravan is full of killers. He wants you to not care that little babies are in cages. Then they tell you that those babies are really gang members in the making. They've managed to create a perfect symbiosis between the White House and a TV network, which essentially is fascism. Donald Trump wants to be an autocrat. He's trying really hard. An autocrat is basically a president for whom the law does not apply. It's an individual who is above the law. And that person can even be elected to office. He wants to stay in power for life. He admires presidents for life like Xi Jinping in China. He admires presidents for life like Vladimir Putin. He wants to be them. Now, the Constitution is supposed to stop him from being them, but it's breaking. It's breaking both because Donald Trump is breaking it and because his party is also so drunk on the idea of their own power and keeping it forever if they can, that they're going to let him break it. So we have a real problem, and I don't think the media or the Democratic Party is taking it nearly seriously enough. But I think globally, American leadership is at its lowest point ever. And I'm not really sure we can get it back. When I interviewed people in the book from around the world, the thing they told me that was the most depressing is that now we know. We know that story that you've been telling about America being this special country, this country that was not akin to things like fascism and neo-Nazism, that can't happen there because you're exceptional. We know that's BS. We know that story you've been telling is a lie. And now that they know we're just ordinary, that there's nothing special about us, there's no way for us to now demand to lead. it's going to be very hard for the United States to get back the global leadership that Donald Trump has thrown away. And you're going to have a lot of angry, unemployable, broken people who are going to wake up years from now and wonder what happened when our courts are gone, when the economy is breaking, and Donald Trump is the only one who made out well.